Is it live? Oh, yeah, welcome to another fantastic episode of AUSHAMMER. This is episode 14. I'm Brynley, the real Bryn Shady, and I am joined tonight by my fantastic co-host, Ryan.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
And two of the wonderful lads, John and Isaac from the Warrior Lodge. How's it going, boys?
Hey.
Hello.
Hello, my lovelies.
Hello.
Oh, yes, so for those of you who can't tell, we're all good friends off screen, and we just spent a very disturbing 30 minutes realizing that Ryan is not wearing pants. So, he's going to do a strut again. No, move further back, Ryan. Further back. People want to see those lovely legs.
You got to pay for more.
Got to pay for more. Well, that's it. That's why we need a Twitch account so people can just donate. Is that ChatUbate? I'm not really sure. There seems to be a difference somewhere. Well,
there would be no Patreon for Ryan.
Wait, I would make squillions. It would be ladies' night every night. What are you even on about?
Ladies' night every night. That's a promise. That's our promise. If you join our Patreon for just $1 a month, it'll be ladies' night every night.
What is a Patreon? You know what?
We don't have one. It's like Twitch, but it's not. Anyway, so we've had a pretty big week. So cooling down off our insane runaround from last weekend of the Masters and Capalabar and dropping into IF. It's been a pretty quiet week for us on the social aspect, but I've been pumping out a fair bit of hobby. It's been pretty exciting. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. Had some another very humbling moment from some of the boys at Warhammer Weekly. Big fan of the show. Just finished watching Vince's tutorial on painting female faces. Really good if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, they spoke some very kind words to us, and they're always pretty good to us. We're a big fan, both Vince and Tom, and also that guy from Doom and Darkness, who's people. Apparently, we are now. All Australians are now the people.
We all belong to the Michael from Doom and Darkness. Yeah.
Yeah, we all belong to the Michael. So all hail Michael.
Which reminds me, Isaac, Jono, have you guys got your tithes ready for Doom and Darkness? 10%.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how things work in Australia, according to the Americans.
Yeah. So, well, I mean.
Oh, well.
Usually we just pay people in Vegemite sandwiches, but...
That's disgusting. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you Australians and your fucking Vegemite. No, that's nasty.
Yeah.
They make me tell the condom joke again.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Spoken like a fake Australian that he is.
That's right.
I don't even know what I am anymore, all right?
Yeah,
What a
fake
fake
Kiwi.
Australian. Jono's just cranky. They have to put up with us convicts.
I did move here voluntarily.
Sure you did.
I wouldn't tell too many people that, buddy.
Yeah.
You actually stole some bread and we sent him over on a ship. I mean, they sent him over on a ship.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how you get sent here. No one comes here voluntarily. Mind you, there was this girl on Twitter who was saying apparently Australia is just like this big hoax and all Australians are paid actors, and can't remember where it was. If I can find it, I'll throw it in the link. That was a crazy story. Anyway, look, back to Warhammer Weekly. Great guys, really humble. They've got a really fantastic segment coming up. So it's Warhammer YouTube's like awards. So for those people who are supporting the hobby, doing that stuff, should be really interesting. I encourage everyone to go vote. I especially encourage people to vote for us. Obviously, there are a lot of very talented.
Oh, there's some shameless self-promotion.
In which category should we be voting?
We're not here to win prizes, but like, as Australians, you like dangle something shiny in front of our face, and we'll be like, I want it.
Yeah, but that's a good question. Isaac just asked, which category would they be voting for us?
Nicest
Okay.
ask.
Will they only accept you in the newbie category, that new entry or something?
Or like pantsless casters?
Yeah, whichever. Yeah, most likely to molest a sheep.
Cast naked. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Is that a thing?
Less
Would
likely
YouTube let us do that?
Yeah, wherever. But it should be good. So get onto it. Vote. It should be pretty exciting. What have you guys been up to this week?
Painting.
Painting.
Oh, feel free to elaborate, Isaac. What? A mural?
Yeah. Well, my good friend
French girl?
Seamus is heading back to New Zealand, and rather than cut his Death Guard army that he started, he's dropped that off. So,
Is he moving back?
yeah. Oh, semi. So
He's been
apparently
sent back.
setting up some business where he can make lots of dosh and fly back and forth. So he'll be able to come back for club days and stuff.
Yeah, they call
It's
those
not
people
money,
drug
best friend.
dealers.
Yeah, Kakitiano, Seamus.
Definitely don't stick him in headphones. That's been done and failed. Bodyboard bag, again, no. If you do both, like headphones in a bodyboard bag, they'll be like, "This is too stupid to be right."
Headphones.
We're just gonna let it go.
I think
your
it's
ass.
partly one of those excuses,
Yeah.
you know, like when people are looking for a reason to start a new army. I think that's what he's actually trying to do.
Yeah. Be a drug mule for classic crack.
Yeah. Bikie gang.
And also the Necromunda. I mean, we've done a couple of...
Oh, Necromunda. That's what we're talking about tonight, everyone. We're going to be talking about Necromunda, which is going to be pretty exciting. Oh man, I'm actually really looking forward to it. This is going to be a good episode.
I'm painting right now.
Gonna spend a whole time. Oh, look at that! Bit of
What's that?
extra going on.
Oh, you've got the
Oh,
bark plug.
is that one of those
Yeah.
grippy things?
Yeah.
Oh man, your hands must be tiny. Looks big.
GW certified.
I'll have you know that Jono has very large, very manly, masculine hands. Giggity, 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 gig.
Giggity.
All right.
Jono's got
And,
some fans in the chat. Look at that.
Out of print butt plug.
And a new butt plug.
Free
It was a really
butt plug.
unfortunate design. Like
It really is.
I was expecting them to have it as a bolt gun, like a pistol grip or something, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think
Apparently.
the dildo appeared to everyone, really.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know if it could be thinner.
I mean, like when you finish
perhaps.
painting, you can, go have fun later and
It's pretty
sort yourself out. I mean, like I'm glad that they're widening the audience to include people who have, those sort of inclinations. It's nice to see them being included in the hobby. Because you can't just have them collecting Slaanesh the entire time. That's,
Well, you could, I guess. Yeah.
gotta give them something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, what have you been doing?
Oh, just trying to hope that you don't ask me questions whilst I'm last minute guess that booty picture finding. But other than that, man, not a heck of a lot.
Pretty good. You should be pleased to know that I'm working on your Hurricanum finally.
What? Sorry, say that one more time.
Working on your Hurricanum slowly.
And then adjust again for the non-believers like myself.
Look, there it is. It's a fucking
My
book and
God.
shit.
Fucking miracles happen.
Miracles happen. Oh, well, not really. I mean, the people who are paying me to delay, they just kind of just stopped giving me money, so now I've got to paint it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is I have procrastinated enough. I procrastinated enough to paint a tree, but wait, there's more, and play with some water effects,
Oh, nice.
which I can't find, but it didn't go so well, so.
Okay, that's all right. Enough about you. Nobody cares. So,
All right, let's look at this. Look at these three things.
Isaac, explain yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did start out doing the blue on the booby plates, but I've done a last minute switch to the yellow. I was trying to get this sort of flame effect on the chest. There's an idea that Jono came up with. I think he's done something similar on his chest of his muscle men as well on the Goliaths. Yeah. And I've got to straighten up them hazard stripes, but they're actually not that hard to paint. The new models, they look quite fancy, but there's not like heaps of detail on there.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that's because you've got skill. Like for people like me with no skill,
just dry brush and wash.
dry brush and wash all day.
I
Yes.
have been, if you look closely, I am being a little bit cheeky to get a little bit more skin in. So the cast actually with the Escher is quite good that you can't quite see whether it's an actual pants line or not. So that's why I've gone for the skin option. So I don't know if other people are painting that or painting them as pants, but I'm hoping to get as much skin showing as I can.
Yes. That's good.
Oh, you got it going on.
Ah.
That looks good. That looks good. I dig it.
I think we
Getting
need
all excited.
more female models on the table. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm 100% behind that.
Yeah, we at AUSHAMMER are huge fans of the female body.
And female miniatures. Lots
Have
and
a
lots
look
of
here.
female miniatures. Exactly what we want.
No, I just want to hold that awkward silence for a little bit more, Brynley. Hang on. There it is.
Yeah, no,
Okay, cool. That's one of the. Yeah, that was good. Oh, that was almost like we practiced.
And
Wait.
I think the standard painting for the Goliaths, I think they've gone for like that one token African American, and so I want to like make most of my warband African Americans. I don't think we have enough models in the hobby that are
You
not.
say African American one more time.
But hang on. If memory serves me correct, because I do like the 30k fluff. Wasn't Angron's army like from all over the place, and they were supposed to have like all 50 shades of grey or something?
Salamanders, I think, or
That's because they live on a world that's just like a fucking volcano. That's insane.
Done. I have all of your Guess That booties for tonight, gentlemen.
That's impressive. Not only 15 minutes. That's
So,
pretty good.
don't judge me.
Not gonna lie.
I've actually... Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Wow, that's... So Windows 10 sucks, by the way. Just on a side note. Okay, so hobby-wise, I've done absolutely nothing. Zilch, zero. I haven't even had a game. Like, it's been the slowest week and a half of my entire life as far as hobby goes, which sucks. But it is what it is. So, yeah. However, Brynley has started my Hurricaneum, and and Timmy
No,
has...
that counts.
Timmy is like halfway through my death. So I'm like, I'm gonna have a finished army one day, I think, at the front. Anyway, getting into it, gentlemen. Guess That booty tonight will be a showdown between the two of you. So it's going to be an interesting one because for those of you that don't know these two guys, Dono is a walking, talking rulebook. Sometimes he's more than one rulebook, and rules get mixed up. But for the most part, he's a walking, talking rulebook. And Isaac does and has owned probably more miniatures than all the rest of us on this show tonight combined. So he's seen a lot of bums, no doubt.
oh no,
Love that booty.
I feel like
Now-
John has more experience looking at bums than me though.
I feel like you're just saying that to make yourself not look like a plastic bum pervert.
Yeah. Like a pro.
This is a safe zone. It's okay.
Yeah, no one's
This is
listening.
this is not a safe zone, I assure you. You're all criticizing you heavily.
So, yeah, 100%.
Hey,
All right,
I've got my crayon. Let's
you've got your crayon. I am going to set this up now. If you want to have a crack at it, you will need to just call out your name. We will use your name as your buzzer. Yeah?
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Bear with me one more
What are the
moment.
rules again?
I've forgotten. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Here we go.
off to a strong start.
It's Brynley. No, I got it wrong. Never mind.
Oh, really?
Can you just stand up again?
You what? You just want me to stand up again? See what I have to put up with all the time? Where is it? Where's our pictures? Here we
You're
go.
the one in charge. Come on.
I know, and that is the problem. It really is. Screen share.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same style of high quality production you have come to expect from AUSHAMMER. Thanks for staying classy.
Wait, it doesn't work.
What we can't see is Ryan's actually pedaling to keep the electricity going in his house under his desk.
He's just kicking that hamster under his desk. He's like, "Get going, you little shit!"
Yeah. I don't know how the computer. It's not working.
That's not great working now.
Why does everyone have to change anything? We'll get to guess that booty a bit later.
All right.
Can you go into events?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the news. All right. So, unsurprisingly, there hasn't been too much of a change in events. For this area in Australia in general, it's starting to wind down and close down as everyone starts to go on Christmas leave and everyone starts to do their own things with their family as per usual, which is perfectly fine. Everyone's allowed to do that. There's no biggie. Quick question: was there any results from the AGM that happened with the Northern Knights?
Is it the 15th? I don't know.
15th, so that's weekend. All right, so that's a big event. We'll get onto that. All right, so Warhammer Mount Gravatt, okay, they're running Teeny Hammer in January on the 13th, the 14th, of 20th. There's going to be Age of Sigmar, 40k, and The Hobbit, respectively. And then Warhammer Chermside, we've got the resurgence of Necromunda events, which will be, first one will be on the 26th of December. So, yeah, after Christmas, so that should be pretty exciting. Warrior Lodge, their first club day is the 7th of January. What are you guys going to be playing? What are you guys going to be playing?
Probably Armada.
Necromunda.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
If you didn't
We get a
realise,
bit more Necromunda going on.
Jono was a complete Necromunda nutbag previously.
Yeah, wicked.
There was one big event on the weekend though, Brynley, the Open War.
Yeah, the big Horus Heresy Open War event, that was pretty big. Did see that. That looked really exciting. It was just tables of Night Titans and Titans everywhere. That was huge. That was really huge. Thanks to everyone who was able to put that on and all the guys who went. Especially the lads who put it on. I apologize. I'll find your name in a second.
Forest Podcast, Tim and Michael.
There you go.
Yeah.
You guys are absolute legends. Good event. Really, really cool. Really interesting.
Oh, my name's Isaac. I know stuff.
All over it. All over it. Yeah, so Northern Knights on the 15th of December, they've got their AGM.
That's
for those of you who don't know, the Queensland Northern Knights have been one of the founding, or possibly the founding, wargaming club in southeast Queensland, if not Queensland itself. Really, really big group back in the day. A lot of our groups and a lot of the clubs that we go and play at today throughout Brisbane can owe their roots back to the Northern Knights. Really, really cool. Unfortunately, as a lot of clubs have gone in the past, they have had slower membership, and they're actually looking at discontinuing the club as of next year, which will be really, really sad to see them go. So if you guys know people who play or want to play or have played before, definitely go down there, go to AGM, put your 2 cents in, get amongst it. They're a cool group of lads, but if they go, we'll be sad to see them go. If they stay, we'd love to see them stay. They've had some pretty cool events in the past, and it'll be good to see them hang around for a bit longer.
Yeah, chatting with a few of the members, I think there's a few guys that are pretty keen to try and keep, as a minimum, at least Saturdays once a month as a thing. So, I mean, whether it's $10 or $15, but you could go up for the whole day and they'd put lunch on and stuff. So I think they're trying to evolve as well and sort of adapt. So I hope they do, because it'd be really sad to leave such an established club.
Yeah, they've got a lot of prestigious history in what can be the gaming world here locally, which is pretty big. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. So Ace Comics and Games down at Annalee, they've got a Necromunda League that's upcoming, and then on the 23rd of December, 17. Actually, I think they're running the Necromunda League's running at the moment. 23rd of December, they've got a 40k monthly tournament, which is really exciting. Pub Hammer this weekend, 16th of December. It's a 40k tournament. It's going to be held at Macrovat. Really cool. A lot of people who are going to be playing are going to be there. It should be really cool. The guy who runs it, absolute legend. Can't wait to see it kick off. I might even try and drop into that. It should be pretty interesting. Irresistible Force. Okay, so tomorrow they're going to be hosting this absolutely massive apocalypse event. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really, really exciting too, because there's just going to be a heap of tanks. It's going to be 12k a side. I think it's going to be Imperium versus everything. So as per usual. So it's going to be hectic. It's going to be a really, really cool game to watch. So the two people are going to be playing. It's going to be Mark and Mikey Edwards. You have Mikey on the show before. Really cool. He was back in the start of Secret Life of a Tournament organizer back in part 1. Cool dude. Loves his game. Man, it's going to be a really cool event. There's going to be a lot of playing. They've put a fair bit of thought into it. They've got some cool rules. It's going to be a good event. I won't be there because I have work, but for those of you who are down that way, down in Tanamera, just near the Hyperdome, holy shit, definitely go down and check it out. It's going to be a big event. It's going to be pretty cool. So then we've got another event. Hold on. Then they've got another event, another 40k tournament on the 13th of January. So we're going to start seeing the tournament scene pick up again. So just going to basically this year is going to be a last hurrah for a lot of places. And then until next year, there's going to be a bit of a break. So until January, everything's starting to kick back up around then. So that's the big event for them. So 4 games, 1,000 points. I'll get more information on that, I kind of promise. But good guys down at IF, I enjoy it. Great tables. We went down there last weekend. That was pretty fun.
Nothing's more fun than when you go down, Brynley. Nothing is more fun than when you go down.
Fucking oath. I'm all about going down.
So, hey, Isaac, to answer your question about the PG rating of the show, hopefully that covers it for you.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Battle Station Toowoomba, 17th of December. They've got the Blight Before Christmas 40k tournament. Should be really fun. It's a good name. I'm looking forward to that. Then next year, we've got CanCon with Age of Sigmar's Path to Glory, and then the 40k ITC last one. Basically, the last ITC event of the 2017 season will be held in Australia, so it should be really exciting. They should be able to crown whoever the world champion is, really. So the international champion, however you have it. So that should be really good. And then we've got down in Melbourne a big 40k event. It's called Arc 40k. That's on the 17th, 18th of February. We're going to see more about that later. Objectives secured, negative. They've done nothing. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, we've got a lot less than usual. Only about 12 items as opposed to the usual 1,000. But that's me. That's done.
There's one more news article. This just in, Ryan learned how to computer.
I don't believe
I know, it's amazing. Yeah, we're good to go. So, you all know the rules. Here we go, gentlemen. Your name is your buzzer.
Do it.
Ooh.
Guess that booty.
A lot of hair.
Oh, it's one of those undead things with the must know name. Yeah. Oh no, the other ones. The small
Come on, gentlemen. Got to say your name and have a guess.
Remember, the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
What are they called? There's two types, Jono. One has the wings and one doesn't have the wings.
Jono's against you. You guys are competing against each other. You can't be asking him for help.
Yeah, but it's 50-50 if he says the wrong one.
It's a rotting anus.
It's the one without the wings from
Yes.
the...
I agree. The wingless one.
The wings.
TikTok, gentlemen.
Oh, man, this is embarrassing.
Wow.
No, we don't play
I think I might just have to
overpowered
lose
armies,
this
that's
one
why.
completely.
5 seconds, gentlemen.
No, I can't Google. I'm using...
Time's up.
My goofs?
No, go on.
It was a crypt horror.
Yeah, those things, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no points.
tip of my tongue.
All right. Brynley, keep your crayon handy.
Oh,
Gentlemen, guess that booty.
Mum?
Oh, Jesus. I wish I could zoom in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. It's a lot of
Got
spikes.
a bit more.
Very horny.
It's
Oh, wow.
I reckon it's something Tyrannidy.
No. Maybe.
Ryan, we need like a cricket sound effects here.
I'm timing this, gentlemen, and you've got 15 seconds left to have a guess.
Take your guess.
Shit.
Ew.
Brynley, is it a
It's
contact?
definitely not a crypt horror. Not enough
No.
hair.
Time's up.
Ah,
It's a mutilith vortex beast. Gentlemen, I am disappointed.
You should be.
You should
Okay, you have to get this next one. Here we go. Guess that booty.
Oh, it's fucking Slambo.
Yay.
Yeah.
Damn,
Slumber,
though.
yeah.
What's your name? Damn it.
Zach Daddy.
Yes, it is Slambo.
Wow, we got one. There we go.
Guess that booty, gentlemen.
Alright, guess the booty.
Oh,
Zoom in. Jesus.
it's
what is this?
Archaon the Ever Chosen.
Oh. Yeah,
Nice.
all over it.
Oh, yeah.
2-0.
The convict is beating the prisoner of Her Majesty 2-0. Here we go, gentlemen.
You should be ashamed, Jono.
Guess that booty.
Oh, Samael.
It might be.
Brynley.
Brynley, you're not playing. Shut the hell up.
Oh.
It's
a chaplain?
Space Marine, maybe on a bike. Not
Chaplain
the
on a bike.
chaplain, yeah.
So,
Nice.
sorry, can you both...
Deathwatch. It's Deathwatch. He's got a Deathwatch shoulder.
It is a Deathwatch biker.
Oh, yeah.
Was that Isaac again?
That was. It was.
Oh, mate. Out of
Connor, you have
control.
5 more to redeem yourself. Here we go. Guess that booty.
Isaac's got 3 crayons
Space
so far.
Wolf on something.
Is it?
Check that live
Oh,
chat.
it's on a wolf. Do they ride wolves? Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
wolf,
it's on a
the
wolf. Yeah,
wolfen
the
dudes.
Wolf Rider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I swore.
Are they called Wolvens or something?
I need the name of the unit, gentlemen.
That's a dude in it. Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Jono got it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That was some good Googling there, Jono.
Yeah.
You're catching up. Here we
Oh, he's
go.
got one.
Here we go.
Fun.
Guess that booty.
Primaris jetpack
Lieutenant.
thingies that I gave you, Jono. What are they called?
Intercessor.
Oh, wait, John's got it. You got the name.
No, it's not. is
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was.
Oh,
So Primaris Inceptors, I believe they're called.
Inceptor. Yeah, I was going.
Mine didn't even see paint. There you go. All right. Guess that booty. And yes, there are 2 booties there.
It's
Oh, yeah.
Katachan.
Cadian
Yeah.
Heavy Weapon Team.
Yeah, that'll do.
Negative.
Good work, Jono.
Oh, Katashin. Oh, you were
Yeah,
right,
I was
Isaac.
right.
Isaac. Yeah, Isaac.
Oh, I
Oh,
got
is it over? I
Yeah.
thought you said. Okay, sorry.
Negative.
That's all right.
Isaac got it.
All right, here we go. Guess that booty.
Oh, that's a nice booty.
Oh,
It's a
Space Marine
scout. Scout bum.
Scout.
Oh, I'd say Ty. That was pretty
Oh, it's a
close.
Reaver.
Is it?
Or is it?
Oh, maybe not. No.
Scout bum, I
It
reckon.
looks like a scout, yeah.
Could be a Reaver. Dunno.
Scout biker.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
That's a funny one, that one.
Oh no,
it's
it's
not,
an
it's a
Ogren.
Tau.
It's an Ogren bum. Ogren bum.
So that's what you're going with.
Yeah.
Bullgrin, is it?
Bull,
Jono got it.
Ah,
Oh, all over it. It's 3-4.
gee.
Okay, this is it. Match point.
Match point.
Gentlemen, guess that booty.
Assassin?
Oh, yeah.
It's
No, it's a Canoness. Sister of Battle Canoness.
Sister of the Battle. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what she's called.
It's the
Technically,
special
John's
edition one. Begins with
Yeah.
a V, I think. I can't remember her name. John Blanche did a picture of her. I can't remember.
Yeah,
her
that's
name.
pretty close. Johnny's got
Yeah.
that one.
Canoness Viridian.
There you
Yeah.
go. See, yeah.
That's good enough. Oh, it's a tie.
That is a pretty cool mini.
Yeah, it's really cool mini.
That is a pretty cool bloody mini, yes. What was the final score there, Brynley?
4 for 4.
4 for 4. All right, keep that in the records. We'll put them on the on our little thingy-mabobby, which shows who's got what.
Oh, my fridge.
Is it on your fridge? That sounds about right. All right, gentlemen. Now, before we get into Necromunda goodness, the two of you are pretty much the faces of the gaming group Warrior Lodge, along with the Ruster Master Jamie, amazing TO, Nathan, of course, as well, our 30K chaplain. But do you want to, and Sam, who left us? Sam, why did you leave? And then there's that dude Eric that that nobody really knows.
Until he had a baby. He had a baby, and I think now he babysits or something.
I'm impressed. He's the only guy I've ever known to have actually successfully had a baby. Like, how did he do that?
I know, it's amazing, right?
Yeah, yeah. I saw an Arnold Schwarzenegger film of it once, and I just figured it was all lies. But
Sam's the only one in the sort of admin team that didn't have a baby, but he's got a baby on the way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, grats.
Yeah, it's life story.
So he's going to suffer like the rest of us.
You will regret. I mean, not regret your decision, my friend. So, but tell us a bit about the Warrior Lodge.
Do you want to go first, Jono?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, so
In the sexiest British voice you can muster, Jono.
listen, I'm from the north of England, sexy.
Oh yeah.
It's not in my wheelhouse, unfortunately. So yeah, the lodge. It started as a way of playing all systems. Really, it was designed to collect all the nerds and then play whatever toys they wanted to play. So there's no system that there is obviously a lot of popular systems that get brought in, and we're always trying something new, always trying to encourage the hobby as a whole rather than segregating it into, hey, look, guys, we only play 40k or we only play AOS or 8th edition or whatever people are into. And we're driven by the members. So it's not a case of, hey, we're the admins and we're only ever going to play one game type. So it's just a bunch of cool dudes hanging out and touching plastic models against each other.
Just.
What
Okay.
we do behind closed doors.
What happens at the lodge stays at the lodge.
Yeah,
So,
I think Jono's nailed it on the head. a head-to-head.
Pink sword fight style. Yeah.
All in
Yeah,
all,
I think we have,
good.
we have a bit of an in-house joke that you know, Jono, Nathan, and I especially we'll play anything that people turn up with. You know, we'll play board games if people want to bring Monopoly or whatever. We don't ever end up playing any board games because no one ever brings them. But
No, that's true.
no, I think there's so many great games out there, and I guess we meet once a fortnight. It's not quite enough for most people hobby, like, because people who are into the hobby like are really, really dedicated. And I guess one of the big things that we always have made sure is people get to bring whatever models they want to bring. So we always try and accommodate that. I don't think I can't think of anything worse than someone going and spending $250 on a model that they never get to play with that just sits on a shelf at home. So Jono and I both renowned for taking on any list. We don't care. We're there to have, you know, roll dice and have fun. And we all tease Jono a bit because his win-loss ratio is quite low. But in 2 years, I've never heard anyone complain after a game with Jono. So
it's always good.
Yeah. And we've got just a heap of dudes like that. Nathan's really taken on the 30K running, which is good. So he's run a number of events and campaigns now. With Necromunda out, we've got a lot of interest in Necromunda. So Jono ran one Necromunda event for us last year, which was pretty epic. And I think with this new system, with the new rules, multiplayer will be really good for that as well. So I guess the main ones is Ryan's favourite, AOS. It's, you know, it and 40K battle out for table space at the club. Once a fortnight, we have about 15, 20 dudes turn up, and I think it's just nice, casual setting. There's a few guys that have kids that bring their kids along, so they play on the side, and we set up a PlayStation and stuff for them as well. So it's a good excuse to give the wife to take at least one of the kids out to go and roll some dice. It's and to have food and drinks brought to your table at Kalinga Tavern. It's just fantastic. It's just a great way to game with your mates, really.
Yeah, I've never wargaming changed for me the moment I came to my first club meet with you guys and sat there with a pint. That's like as far as I'm concerned, that's the pinnacle of tabletop gaming, when you can throw dice and eat your chips with gravy and a pint of Great Northern all at the same time.
And no judgment.
No judgment. No judgment. Unless, well, there was that one time I brought that really crappy Empire list.
Yeah.
Poor Ethan.
That's a human being.
Well, you played as a doubles game, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
60 handgunners?
The other thing, like 80 handgunners or something ridiculous. Don't judge me.
It's
all right.
Demon army with no shooting.
It was the most amazing thing. And actually, speaking of Nathan and his 30K buzz that he's on, which is awesome, by the way, because I love the Horus Heresy. Check this out. Where is it? There we go. Can you all see that?
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
How hot is that? That's Nathan's latest and greatest.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's hot.
It's good
I like
playing
that.
against it on the table.
Yeah, he sent me some photos the other day just to show off that at least one of us had a painted army. And I was like, well, fuck you then. I'll show it on the show. How do you like that? And if you guys want to pick this apart now and give him all the constructive criticism that you like, that's perfectly fine.
No,
I think those black lines aren't quite straight. Nathan, you may need to just paint it all over again.
Just method it.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You're going to have to start all over again.
No.
But yeah, he's done a really cool job, eh?
Clearly better than what we can do, so fuck you.
In fact,
rolling
Harsh.
what is that, Nathan? Come on. But I think
that was good too.
Yeah, after seeing these, Brynley, maybe you should give Nathan my Hurricane to finish. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Still on someone else's desk for a while. I'm cool with this.
While we're giving,
I've got a box full of Stormcaster paint.
While we're giving Nathan a bit of a rap, you guys should actually get him on here because he's running a year-long campaign over 6 different club days through the club over the year.
Holy crap!
Or he'd love to come in and talk to you about it. So he's recruited a heap of guys for that. And if you go onto our webpage, you can see the link through to the 30K event page.
Yeah.
Which does have a name. It beat Jono out.
What? What am I doing?
Something Ares.
Beat Jono
the RS system.
Yeah, assault on Ares 9.
Yeah.
That should be good.
RS 9.
Yeah. So I think one of the things, like in our first year when we started, we ran lots of really big events and had dudes coming from all over the place to come and play. And I think last year, Jono, Nathan and I really wanted to build up the different systems within the club and get regular attendance along. So we've all worked really hard on like getting themed and campaign events rather than just running, big events. And what we've seen now is a really big player pool in all our main systems where we can just run a local event and have 10, 15 guys turn up to play, which is, just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. From a dude who was actually introduced to the hobby by the two gentlemen we have on tonight. Clearly not biased at all when I say it's actually a really cool place to game, and it's a really cool bunch of people down there as well. And it's definitely not a small club. You guys have had some pretty massive numbers. I mean, what were you guys like? There was there's days there where you guys have over 100, wasn't there? Like I remember Nathan was telling me about a tournament he TO'd. Was it last year or something?
100's a big number.
I'm sure I remember seeing something massive last year or something.
I can't remember. Did we have 32 teams or something?
Yeah, some ridiculous bloody.
Yeah.
It was a doubles event.
Yeah.
And there was 30. I think there was 32 teams.
Yeah, you know why? Throwing dice and pints, man. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. All right, gentlemen. Underhive, Necromunda Underhive. Now, you're both pretty far into it. You've played a lot of games recently. You've put out some really cool battle reports that we've been seeing on the YouTubes as well, which we will link down below after the show. So
yeah, really good. I've actually been really enjoying those extra little YouTube videos. They're short and sweet and to the point, and just good seeing people play.
I put mine on repeat just so I can hear your sweet, sweet voice, Isaac.
Lies.
I love.
No, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. Don't go there.
So
I love gaming with Jono and his son Ethan because Jono is just such a nice guy to game with, and Ethan is just like a ruthless gamer. And it's like you get the perfect balance in a game when you play.
Yeah, what didn't he have a bit of luck with launching a few grenades down at his old man?
Yeah, we got
in one of those videos.
We got Jono on film going, "Oh, what are you going to do? Climb up there and wave your hands at me?" I'm like, "Well, he could actually lob a grenade onto you." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to lob a grenade onto you."
And Jono's just like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, it's not just... It's like he's got an instinct for the most maximum damage he can do at any one time. So he didn't just pick the nearest girl that he could see. He picked the girl who was already bleeding out on the floor and fired his strongest weapon at her to finish her off. It was just like...
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't really like her being around, so.
Yeah,
So clearly he's aligned to the Lord of Excess. Just saying.
Yeah.
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 So you've both played the old school Necromunda from, what was it, the mid-90s or something like that?
Yeah.
Is it still Goliath and Orlok?
Yeah, all the houses stayed the same.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
in the new box set, it's Escher and Goliath, yeah.
Oh, love Goliath. Fucking homeboys. All about those mohawks. Oh.
So run us through when you first started playing the new Necromunda. What were the first things you noticed were different compared to the old Necromunda? Like, what stood out as a major difference?
Well, for me, it was the mechanics straight away. Jono and I both play Infinity as well, and straight away, just the feeling of it, you can feel like GW is really picking some of the best parts of other game systems and melding them into their own games. And
easily.
You've seen a similar thing with Shadespire that they've done as well, in that sort of specialist games. And I think rather than in the past where they sort of brought out these specialist games and then, didn't really sort of give them the ongoing love that they deserved, I think we've seen a big shift with GW, and I think they've really thought this game out. So the mechanics of the game mix very well with the 40k element, but it still has that old traditional Necromunda feel. That's how I feel about it.
So is there did you feel a sense of nostalgia with it, or?
I did. Certainly.
Yeah.
It's smart. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the old rules, when they were abandoned, the community took up the call to keep updating the rules. So you ended up with almost like a schism in the fans. You had the people who stayed to the original rule book, and those guys were the purists. They kept in every spelling mistake, every sentence that didn't make a great deal of sense, and they kept it as it should be. So the community guys have said, look, hey, we want to correct the mistakes here. They created the living rule book and they published it online, and it was on the forums, and they asked for feedback over and over. Hey, what rule doesn't make sense? What can we do to improve it? And they produced their entire rule book. It was all released at once, and it kept having the community updating the rules. They eventually released alien races. They introduced more psychic powers. They introduced more an expanded marketplace and things like that. So for me, back in England, I used to play that with a few guys in Manchester, and that was good. I used to run orcs. I had what did I have as well? Redemptionists, yeah, redemptionists, which are basically just religious psychopaths with flamethrowers.
Man.
I had my original Eschers as well, the Escher girls. It was a lot of fun, and what they've done is they've kept that cinematic feel to the game, where you come away from every game feeling like a story has been told. And I know a lot of times when you've got bigger armies on the table, it can feel quite sweeping and epic and like huge clash of battles. You've got 100, 150 models all shooting at each other, or sword and board and things like that. With Necromunda, you become a lot more invested in your character, and I think that's one of the things that made Infinity quite good as well. Everybody's got their own little name, everybody's got their own little action, they can all do that. And as soon as you start naming your characters and running them in a campaign, you become invested in them. So the stories that come out of the game are unbelievable. And it's all been modernized to 8th edition rules. So look, it's
as opposed to the second ed from the original,
exactly, yeah.
It's a big change.
Close combat was a mess in the original rules. It was crazy.
Close combat now is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it's unbelievably quick.
Well, what about the turn order is it's completely different to the old style, yeah?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
So what's the major difference between the two as far as turn order goes?
What was the old turn order to start with? Because a lot of people who are watching it probably aren't real familiar with the old system.
Yeah. So it was everybody go at once. You would roll off to work out the scenario. So if you weren't playing a campaign, then you would roll off, and whoever lost the roll, you could choose deployment, etc., etc., where you wanted to start on the board, and then it would be I move my gang one at once. So my heavy gunner is going that way, my juveniles are going that way, and then you would fire and work out any charges in close combat. So it was very structured in like an old seconded turn. And much like 40k is today, you would have movement phase, and then shooting phase, then charge phase, close combat phase. What they've done now is made it more tactical. It's more like chess now, I guess.
Very edgy,
you pick
isn't it?
one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. You've got to think on your feet a lot more. Rather than moving your entire gang and then the other person says, right, I'm going to move my entire gang, you've got to pick one member and then perform 2 actions. So they've broken down each of the actions into smaller chunks. So if you want to charge, it uses all your actions. If you want to reload, it takes 1. Aim, shoot, climb, lie down, duck into cover, all these little things build up. So you get a limited amount of action points.
Yeah. So when you activate one of your units, you get you can move twice, but you can only shoot once. Yeah.
I know.
You can
So
move
there's
twice.
yeah. It's like in the game, the actions are either basic. So that's where you get the 2 movements from.
Yeah.
There's some actions that use your entire turn for each model. So
Charging
or a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
Some of the heavy weapons that are unwieldy stop you from being able to do a second thing. So there's sort of like that. You can shoot then move, or move then shoot.
Okay. And what's charging? That charging now is D3.
it's a double, so you use all of your turn to charge.
Okay. All right.
But rather than a 2d6 mechanic, what they've actually done is let you move up to your movement and then add D3.
Yeah.
So again, it sort of breaks down those mathematics behind the charge. So you need to be much more prepared.
As far as charging is concerned, there used to be an old rule about no moving within 8 inches. Are you guys?
Yeah, there was.
Is that still there?
There was a rule. So you're not allowed to move within an inch of another enemy model.
So it's 1 inch now instead of 8.
Yeah, 1 inch. Yeah. So
wow, that's a big difference.
It wasn't 8 inch. I think it was. I'd have to double check. It might have been 3 or 4 without engaging. And there's all sorts of little neat breakdowns. Obviously, they've split the rules. The Zone Mortalis one is the one that comes in the box. That's the flat sort of board game surface with your walls and your little scenarios and objectives doing that. And then they've released Gang War, which is the 3D, which was the first game me and Isaac played of it. And it felt immediately like old Necromunda. And then I went back and played Ethan a few times at the Zone Mortalis, and it was like a new invention. It was brilliant. It was really clever sort of mechanics behind it. So it's not like learning an old game again and a new game. It's this clever meld, like Isaac was saying before. It's a clever meld of the old and the new.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you've got profiles now that have stats, yeah? So you've got, like, cool, willpower, and a cut. So that wasn't there in the last one.
No, but they were renamed. It was leadership.
How has that changed the way, like, I mean, Isaac, you would have gone into it thinking, oh, yeah, it's going to play similar to the old one. But when you look at that and you go, oh, shit, my profiles have stats now, did it change the way that you approach the game a lot or just a little bit?
I think it's probably. I think in some ways it's probably simplified or watered down the complication from the old AUSHAMMER and Necromunda. And I think, like, as like this is just one of the editions. I think there's meant to be like 3 editions come out. So I think with each edition and each game, it's going to introduce like new levels of complication. But I think when we play games, it's very often like in this two-dimensional nature where you're moving across the board and in and out of buildings, and buildings don't always really come into it when you're playing like 40k and AOS, or someone might put a scout squad up in a building and it sits there for the rest of the game until someone shells the crap out of it or whatever. But with this Necromunda, and probably even the old Necromunda as well, there's a lot of agility in the game where you're moving across buildings, and one of the big things I think the coolest is you can leap across gaps and that sort of thing. So you have to like every movement with each model has to be like sort of planned and thought out, because where you leave your model is seriously going to impact your next turn when they get to go. One of the things that came up in our game with Ethan was when he was moving his guys around, he just wanted to climb up, and I was like, no, mate. If you climb up and move over to the edge, next turn you can leap across to that other building because it's only a 4-inch or 3-inch gap. Yeah. And things like that just make it so much more tactical.
So what about like people like assholes like Brynley, right? Who plays a lot of Tau, really enjoys things like Overwatch, but that's not in.
So, yeah,
is that
still here? But it's a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill.
Oh, explain that for me. Actually, explain that for Brynley, because he's gonna love this shit.
As if Goliath has ever needed Overwatch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, in the old rules, Overwatch was resolved at -1. So at the end of your movement, you would sacrifice your shooting action and say, hey, that person's on Overwatch. And so if anybody moved within a 90-degree arc field of vision, they could be shot at. Now, some of the scenarios allowed for spotting distance or infrared sort of sights and things like that. So you would get a bonus to try and pick someone out of the shadows, or it was sneaking through. However, in this one, they've actually reduced it to a shooting skill. Now, each leader and champion.
Do you want to hold that up again, Isaac?
Gets to pick a skill at the start. So she's the pre-made one. Is it? It's Marika. That's one of my favorites. She comes with a pre-skill, but you can actually pick from each gang.
Is it shiny?
Yeah. Yes, it's a limited edition one they released. They were giving them out.
That's wicked.
Yeah,
like with the pre-order. Andrew at GW Chermside. Love you long time, Andrew. Thank you.
He always takes care of you guys.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Definitely does.
And there's all different skills.
You have to elect. Rally, you have to elect to use it.
So the stats go with. All right. So there's. Explain the stats to me. Like there's a modern. They're more modernized compared to the old way, yeah.
Correct. They're 8th edition stats. So when it says 3+, you're hitting on a 3+. Whereas before it was ballistic skill 4, and you'd hit on a 3+. So there was a variation.
Okay.
Now it's much more clearer. It's the same thing, but it isn't. If that makes sense.
And upgrading your heroes costs XP, yeah.
Correct.
Is it the same across the board, or does it differ depending on what the upgrade is?
It differs. If you've got an upgrade already, it costs you more to upgrade.
Okay.
So you have to plan. It's almost like Fallout.
Some models sort of can't advance, depending on whether they're like a leader or a champion or just a pleb. So they can still gain experience and build up their skills, but they can't be like promoted, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you get your juvenile. Juvenile's obviously the worst in the group, or the Juves. And then what happens is the Juves can skill up, but there's like I think it's a 2 in 12 chance, or 1 in 6 chance that they can actually become a ganger. And then the gangers get XP until they've got 6. And when they've got 6 XP, they reset to 0, and you roll on a table. And there's an off chance they'll become a
Reminds
specialist.
reminds me of Mordheim.
Yeah, it's very similar.
It's very
Yeah,
simple.
which is what I love about it. The whole feel for Necromunda. I feel that Games Workshop, it's the accumulation of lessons learnt from
Yes. Agreed.
basically the Shadow War Armageddon that got released.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we kind of got that, and then the lessons they learned from that, they pumped into Shadespire, and then the lessons they learned from Shadespire, they've now pumped into Necromunda, which is really, really cool. And as you were saying, they've lent from a lot of different systems.
We can go back to.
They would too, because like the gang is similar to the henchmen from Mordheim. Yes. Yeah. So good point. Yeah.
And the Youngbloods and the it's a similar rule set. I started playing Mordheim. That got me into tabletop gaming because that was amazing. And then I got into fantasy from that. But then I started playing Necromunda as well with Goliath, which was amazing. It was, and then it went away, and I peeled off because I had better things to do.
Like
with my time
Blue and Yellow Purple Pills and release that album with Dr. Dre. Yeah, you were real busy.
Oh, dude. Did anyone heard that album? Like, it's pretty good. Pretty good. But
I pretty much had the same sort of entry into the hobby as you, Brynley. I did the same thing. I had dated a girl in high school whose brother played Space Marines. He gave me a Space Marine to paint. And then I got into fantasy. And then Mordheim, I loved Mordheim.
Oh, so good. They fucking bring it back, I'll be so cranky.
They're gonna. They are.
I think so.
I'll be all over that shit.
They have to, man. There's the PC game. Jono and I play a couple of nights a week, Mordheim.
Is that the one that I'm supposed to play with you guys, but never? Like, I've installed it.
Yeah.
Is that similar to that mobile app one?
No, it's better. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
When
the beta came out,
Focus Entertainment made it.
A lot of people got turned off with the beta because it was a bit glitchy and couldn't work it out. And then I think we played it for a while, and then we dropped it. And then did you find that article or did I, Jono?
You found the article, and
then I found this article that was like the beginner's way to like level your game quickly, because that's the biggest problem with the PC game is it takes you so long to build your dudes up that by the end you're so in debt to your clan that it's so hard to survive. But there's this web page that just had
I think it was the Steam forums or something.
Yeah. Don't upgrade any of their skills and just give everyone double-handed weapons, and because you want to do max damage right from the start, and then all of a sudden our gangs are like kicking dicks in now.
Pretty good. Oh god, it's good. I wish I had a proper gaming computer because I really want to get into that. But oh man, when
we can play
we'll have to do another show when Mordheim comes out, so we can fangirl over that as well. But Necromunda is huge, and the cool thing that what I don't like about how Games Workshop's done Necromunda, and not to knock obviously their superior stuff, but the terrain that they're releasing isn't in like the affordable or appealing
I'm with you.
area for me. And I actually started looking at MDF kits and some other sort of stuff that like, because gantry's like, you know, it's an underhive. It can be whatever you want it to be, really. Like, it can be as dirty, as gritty as you need it to be, and it's still gonna look really, really cool.
I think the biggest key with Necromunda, and even when you talk to the original creators of Necromunda, they still reflect now that the thing that was holding back a game back then was even the terrain. And there is some insane terrain out there now, but we joke about it all the time. It seems like every week there's a new Kickstarter of some amazing like MDF cut set or plastic set of terrain now. Terrain is now the most affordable it's ever been to gamers.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think the terrain is going to be the biggest part in terms of the immersion of the game as well.
Oh, absolutely.
The effort you put into that,
I mean, it's gonna be so. Yeah, the kits that are coming out now, like this is the perfect time for Necromunda, and like if when Mordheim comes out, they're gonna be doubly set
Yeah.
for some of that stuff. Me and Ryan picked up a couple of 3D printed houses, and I've been like, like we're in the age of 3D printing now. It's phenomenal. Like we've got like these cool little houses that I've been working on, doing a bit of painting on, but like you can roost off inside on the thing, man. It's gonna be so good, and then it's gonna be even more so. What are we looking at?
Sorry, did Jono just take us to the toilet?
Jono, you're on the toilet. There's a frying pan.
No, sorry.
Please, for the love of
frying
God,
pan
tell me you've
boy
taken
up
us to the bathroom. That would be the most amazing thing.
No.
Isaac's smiling because he just wishes he'd thought of it first.
Yeah. No, I'm putting my.
Hey, quick question.
Word for number 2.
We should do an AUSHAMMER talk where we're all sitting in our toilets.
Nice.
Can somebody explain to me, because we all know that I'm just an AOS junkie, and I the most 40k I've ever played is Space Hulk with you, Isaac. But from what I've gathered of this from Necromunda Underhive is that you can only look and shoot in a 90-degree arc, yeah?
Correct.
Fairly correct.
Yeah.
I would find that frustrating. Explain to me how I unfrustrate myself at the thought of only being able to act within a 90-degree angle.
Well, there's 2 different things to it. So the first one is, if you think we're in the dark underhives of Necromunda, right?
Yeah.
And you're like on watch. Now, let's just immersify ourselves. If you're
That's a real word.
in the real world,
Yeah,
and you got your
word.
little 12-inch pistol,
Yeah.
Big old
you're going to be
12-inch
looking
pistol.
right in front of you, right? You're going to be doing these ones. So if someone was able to sneak up and cap you in the back, like unless you hear them, I think that's one of the cool things about Infinity. Like if someone moves into your area of influence, you can react. I think we'll see something similar come into Necromunda eventually. But when you look at like even the Goliaths have a better armor save if they're facing you. So, which kind of makes sense that they've got more armor on their front. So they get a 5-up armor save rather than a 6-up if they're getting shot from the side or behind.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different elements of it. Like it's not just, hey, I'm in my 90-degree arc. But the other thing is too, if you think about when someone charges in, if you're facing the wrong way, it's going to take you time to turn and react. And there's even an element of it, I haven't quite worked it out yet, but you're meant to have like a modifier if you have to turn and shoot. Is that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's in close combat. If you have to turn to face an attack in close combat, you actually suffer a penalty.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You've been caught off guard. So what is it? Just another layer of the tactical part of the game where you're playing the odds. You're always playing the odds. They're not heavily armored. They're not that tough. There are weapons that can one-hit kill people. You could accidentally fall just simply trying to climb down a level. And one of the stories I read today was first shot of the game. Some fella, he pointed his grenade launcher at one of the Asher girls and fired just a frag. And one of the special rules of the frag grenade is knockback, which means if you get hit, even if it doesn't wound you, you move an inch away from the direction of fire. Well, that pushed her off a ledge.
Yes.
As she fell, she dropped the gas bomb she was holding. And one of the gas bomb rules is you roll to see how much area of effect. And it was an 11-inch bubble. So she fell down a chasm to her death, and the resulting gas bomb took 2 more women out and one of the Goliaths. And that's the sort of story that you get from this game.
So,
You just get crazy things like that.
I love a game that you can write a story from. That's what you want. That's the sort of game that you know it's a well thought out tabletop game. That's good.
Sure,
that is really, really good.
So there's two types of cover as well, isn't there?
Yes.
Hard and soft or something.
So, cause I remember reading about the old game, and it was difficult. And I've noticed with this one, you've got to be like hidden or hiding or whatever. You've got to go prone whilst in cover. So, what's the difference between the two types of cover?
Yeah. Well, the first one is to get like a. Well, it actually modifies both, doesn't it? It modifies the hit and the armor save if you can get 50% of your model in cover. Now, the perfect example in Jono, my first game, is he walked along and he stopped in front, behind cover, what he thought was cover, and I told him when he stopped there, I said, well, "You're not in cover there, man. You're not in cover." He's like, yeah, I'm behind this building. I'll hold this building. But that's where like the different levels come into effect. And I was standing up on a hill, and we got the laser pointer out, and then Jono's son Ethan came and had a look, and Jono denied the whole time because he realised, hang on, even just the elevation has cancelled out my cover completely, and it's a big deal. Like -1 to hit, and then a +1 to your armor save or something. Or is it?
I'm not sure. I'll double check that. It's -1 and -2 depending on how much of your base is obscured. So, it can be quite. Your average ganger is only hitting you on a 6, but someone like a champion who's within 12 inches, even though you're in hard cover, will still hit you on a 3.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware.
Really,
There's a lot of situational awareness.
And so it's kind of different, like to 40k, where you don't just go, oh, I've got 8 inches of movement. I can move my 8 inches now. And even with, you have 8 inches, but you can move 4 inches and then do something. You may just want to be just moving that 4 inches. You might not want to go your full movement because, like if you isolate yourself and you get caught out, it can make a big difference to the game. Because if someone charges you and they just do 1 wound and you don't save, you go down seriously injured, they straight away can do coup de grace.
Yeah, they can just
straight away.
Just finish you off, just smack you in the face while you're down. I love it.
Yeah.
I love Necromunda. Some of the simple rules and how the rules like are so tailored to certain factions, like Goliath having the armor up front and always wielding big guns that do knockback, whereas the Escher girls have got abilities that play to their stealth and their technological glam rock style.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the houses come out and see if they do Abites and other stuff. I'm wondering how much they're going to start to incorporate from that was the Necromunda Living Rulebook.
Yeah.
And how many factions they start to incorporate, and then start with the narrative play. Like we're seeing everyone's starting to get to know the rules, everyone's starting to understand how Necromunda works, but like Necromunda has so much potential for being able to be such a narrative-driven game. It's going to be phenomenal. And then all the lessons that they learn from this, they're going to put into Mordheim when that comes out.
So I mean, when you say about how immersive it is and how much of a great story you can make out of a game, and it's not just like Snakes and Ladders, you actually could write a fucking book after you've played a few games of this, your own story. To put that into perspective, I mean, you can see stuff on the GW store and stuff like that, but when it's actually on your table, it looks different to what you're looking at online when you read reviews and shit. And this is
that's wicked.
Yeah, so this is you guys, Isaac and Jono. This is your guys' stuff.
Seamus, I think that was.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah. This.
Is this just
Hey.
before a grenade dropped, by any
Yeah,
chance?
yeah.
That's
So that's
great.
combining 3D printed terrain
That's
W stuff.
so that's
Jono
Jono
before
just before he table flipped after being naded by his son.
True story.
That was after the second setup. So
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
It was quick.
Yeah. So just using a Realm of Battle boards from GW just for something different, and the cityscape. I've not finished painting that, but I tried to get stuff as much half painted so that we could play on it, and this could be a fairly typical table. Like some people will have multi levels in a city and just buildings and that sort of thing.
I love it, man.
And that's building a story, yeah, as well as a game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just set up those the Sky Shield landing pads with a couple of the 3D printed towers from Printer Forge. Ash has printed those up for me.
Look at that.
Yeah, I think even like you can make your own cheap terrain that would work completely effectively for Necromunda as well. Like you don't have to have.
There's an entire forum thread on it. So there's a website called Yak Tribe, and these are the guys that set up the living rulebook after the original rulebooks came out, and the amount of homemade terrain that they made from Coke cans, from
go back to that one. That's the one where
cans.
That's the one where Ethan made the jump, the 3-inch jump across.
Oh yeah.
On top there.
Is that a Goliath doing the jump?
Yeah.
Wow. Those clumsy man-apes.
That's the same guy that climbs up and lobs the grenade down.
That's really cool.
Well, I tried to get my revenge. The other day. So I took my champion and I ran it at his leader. I was like, right, I'm going to zap this guy. He's done. That's it. It's game over. I've got a big fat. So I'm stood at 4 inches away. So I get +2 to hit. I'm already hitting on 3s. You know, he's just stood in the open. I put my plasma pistol on maximum power. And he failed his armor because obviously I just stripped it away with the plasma pistol. 3 wounds. So, you know, it's going to crush him if it does it. And he rolled 3 flesh wounds. Now, what that basically means is that he went from toughness 4 to toughness 1, but still stood there and managed to hit me back. And he took 7 wounds before he'd go down. You know, he managed to kill him with actual damage. I managed to flesh wound him to death because he made saving throw after saving throw, and he kept getting back up, and then he made the 3 flesh wound saves, and it was like, this guy just does not want to die at all. Like in a true Goliath steroid monster fashion, he just would not die until he'd taken an absolute hail of fire.
Those no tapes.
So these
This reminds me of like a level of Doom.
Yeah.
That's the thing I've always enjoyed.
The Zone Mortalis has always been like one of my favorite ways. Where I know when I first started playing 30k, even for pretty much the first 8 or 9 months, all I played was Zone Mortalis 30k. I found it so enjoyable. These walls are by Michael Parker from Battlefield Accessories. Him and his partner Lance do these walls and whole heap of terrain. He's actually got, Ryan, you might actually like, he's got this big 3D tower that would be perfect for 3D Space Hulk.
Yes, winning.
But I think I was quite surprised. So this, you can see the MDF board there. That's actually a 3x3. So I'm not sure why GW have made those board sections 11 inches by 11 inches. I'm assuming it's so that people don't try and not buy their actual legitimate foot-long boards. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was just to fit in the box, probably. I don't know.
That's a bit annoying.
Probably
If it comes to that, it's probably something to do with how they can make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cluey, those GW bastards.
Yeah.
But the boards are double-sided, and they have pre-marked out sections. So, and they're blacked out. So even if you didn't put walls on, you can put walkways across as well. And they actually give you painted card ones to do the walkways of. But I was really impressed with this when it came out. It actually made me want to build a proper board section that holds them all in neatly with walls and stuff around the outside, turn it into like a proper sort of stadium kind of thing.
Pretty good. I feel like you should have gone like yellow and black chevrons, but it's just me. Oh, no, I love it.
These here remind me of those. I'm trying to remember what movie, the Star Wars movie it is now. I can't remember. They're in the snow. There's a big war happening, and they get blown the fuck up. Anyway,
Empire.
Somebody will correct me and remind me on what it was.
The Empire Strikes Back, the Battle of Hoth, you fucking nerf herder. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Battle of Hoth.
Wow. You're going to get destroyed by all the angry Star Wars fans now.
Yeah.
Something.
Hang on, come at me, Star Wars fans. All right. I'm a wizard, Spock.
Wizard Spock. No, yeah, you are a wizard.
Yeah.
He's certainly not a tech wizard.
No.
I love having you guys on.
Maybe you should work at like a tech company or something and skill up, or I don't know.
Oh, here's a good example with the flamers. Hopefully I'll get my girls painted, and I caught 3 of his dudes bundled up, and I'm like, hey, here we go, flamer to the death. Don't look at the shadow. Not being dodgy, it's the angle of the light. My template did cover those 3 dudes.
Yeah, sure they did.
Yeah. And no wounds. And then he just ran in and just fisted my Escher. Like, it's brutal. I used Yelena in one of the games to whippy whip him, and I didn't realize she had 3 attacks, and that would have been able to kill like each one of his dudes one by one.
Oh no!
And unfortunately, when he charged me in with his 3 attacks, I went, "Oh, geez, Helena has 3 attacks as well." And then he went, "Oh yeah, there's a wound," and I failed the wound, went down seriously injured, and then I kept reading the rules, and I'm like, I think you get to finish me off here. He's like, no. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if she goes down, it's
just game over.
Like, unless you have someone like within an inch or something. So
that's right.
Yeah. So in the second game, the same situation happened again, where he seriously injured one of my players, but I had her standing right next to her buddy, so that actually saved her in the end. So it's it's quite funny. You become quite attached to them, like even the names that I have on the card straight away. I was surprised that I could remember the names, like Marika and Nakimi afterwards. It's pretty funny.
Have they got a Necromunda name generator out yet?
They actually suggest quite a few.
Even better than that, Brynley.
Oh wow! You can just do it yourself.
Yep.
Jono just did today. He laminated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking dirty. Talking dirty now, eh? Now he's not wearing pants. Tell you what, mine are getting tighter.
And he used a permanent marker.
Oh, gig, all right.
And showed his IPA skills.
Yeah.
To remove said permanent marker. So
a lesson, I guess, Shadow War Armageddon. You guys are pretty familiar with that. The movement penalties for shooting. It's gone now, yeah, for this as well.
Yep. Actually, they've introduced if you stand still, you hit easier. So you have to elect to use the action, but it's called an aim. And then if you layer on top of that a level up of a skill, like Gunslinger, you then lose the penalty for firing 2 pistols at once, or you can run and shoot at -1. I think there's 6 tables of 6 skills. So, and not every gang can access every skill, unfortunately. But much like Blood Bowl, where if you roll a double 6 or a double 1, you can choose any skill. So, it's rewarding enough. When you read the rules, it's as complex as the original, but it's been brought up to date, smart. And it's not a long game unless you make it a long game. They can be over in 10 minutes. Fastest game of Necromunda I ever played was 5 minutes long.
Yeah, because your whole gang can bottle.
Yeah, exactly. They all just bottle out, yeah. And
I love that.
That's the big difference between the girls and the Goliaths as well, is the Goliaths have a much lower cool factor. So they will stand around even after people are dying left, right, and centre. So, go on.
This question was for Isaac.
Oh.
Stray shots.
Hey?
Stray shots.
Oh, yeah, stray shots are glorious. So, even at the best of times. No, like, so even if you have one of your own characters in front of you and you're taking a shot at the enemy, if you miss, you got to roll and see where that miss goes. And that miss could still be a hit. On top of that too, there's this other element there. I can't remember if it was in the old game or not. As serious as this, there's an ammo roll. So every time you make a shot, every time you make an action, you literally have to check whether your weapon has run out of ammo or whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. So there's a dice, and it has multiple shots on it. So if you have a rapid fire weapon, you roll the dice, you could end up hitting 3 times rather than just once.
Yeah,
brutal.
But it also has an ammo check on it. Now, the brutal thing of this is when you do campaigns and as you build, if you haven't purchased additional ammo, and say you have a dude on a heavy weapon and he rolls an ammo check, his job is done.
Yeah.
You can't reload the weapon.
Yeah, you can't reload the weapon.
The weapon is useless.
Especially something like really fancy, like a plasma pistol or something.
Yeah. Plasma pistol is a good example, actually.
Yeah.
Something like a bolt pistol, which, in Space Marine armies, everybody's got one. But in the Underhive, they're really rare. And so
real rare.
When you fail, when the ammo token comes up on the dice, you have to roll a dice to see whether your gun runs out. And you have to roll a 6. Because if you don't roll a 6, you run out of ammo. And
a natural 6 isn't always a success either, is it?
No.
Not always, no. So you can make what's called an improbable shot. So you're out of range, the person's in full cover, and you need an 8 to shoot them. Or 7, I think it is. You can still roll a dice. You have to roll a natural 6 and then a 4 up. And then you can basically rebound the bullet off a pipe and it goes off a piece, off the floor, and then hits them in the face. So
while we're on the subject of rolling dice, Jono, and this is purely because I'm an AOS fan.
Where's my die?
Fucking scatter dice.
Yeah, scatter dice. Just for the
win me over, because I need to know what's the go. Teach me here. Why is this still a thing, or why is it now a thing again?
It's just with the templates for the grenades, man.
So it's for the lols.
For the lol.
At the moment, obviously, it's not as accurate.
Okay. And what about?
I mean, you may have well done it as being in the army. You may have thrown a frag grenade and gone, well, you know, I'm not on the New Zealand bowling team. I'm not throwing this at 140 kilometers an hour in a straight line to take the middle wicket. What I'm doing is I'm throwing it over my head and praying to Jeebus that it doesn't blow up in my hand.
Yeah.
And because all the equipment in the Underhive is supposed to be knackered or scavenged or handmade or homemade, it's unreliable. So you can still throw a grenade. It will scatter nowhere. It will land directly on your target's head and then fail to explode if you roll a one.
Okay. And what about then, Isaac, injury dice? I don't know why, but when I think of injury dice, I feel like it affects Isaac more than it affects Jono for some reason.
I swear there's too many seriously injured options on that dice.
So Jono's been witness to some rage then?
Yeah. I mean, it's still... What used to happen is, if you got taken out in a battle, at the end of the old Necromunda, you would roll a D66, and you could go deaf, lose a finger, lose an eye, lose an arm, lose a leg, etc. Just like more time. But in this one, they've made it much more immediate. So it used to be all D6s and the scatter dice, but now they've added the symbols in. So you get shot, you drop down. That's what happens. You make your armor save and you just lie on your back. But if you fail, then rather than waiting to the end of the turn to find out what happens, you find out immediately, like, hey, this guy is seriously injured, they're bleeding to death. And then you still get a chance to recover at the end. Yeah. So it feels a bit more dynamic. The symbols add to the immersion, really. It doesn't take away, because right, it's 1d6 to be shot, 1d6 for a save, 1d6 for a armor roll. But now it's, hey, I've rolled 3 bullet holes, I've hit you 3 times. Oh, there's a skull, he's definitely dead, and it helps with the remembering of the steps as well. So it's a lot of fun, and plus the new dice are just glorious. They're massive, like 16, 20 millimeter dice. They're huge and they're so pretty as well.
Shit.
When you roll the dice, there's the 3 options. Did you go through the 3 options, Jono? The out of action, seriously injured, and flesh wound. So
the flesh wound's the one that adds the tough drops your toughness by -1 or something. Correct. Yeah.
Right, and it also just means you're pinned.
Yeah, so you're lying on your back.
Oh, okay.
So
you've got a 50% chance of getting a flesh wound or something like that, or is it now? Or?
I think it's 50-50 here.
Okay.
And
what are the other ones?
50-50, because there's the out of action as well, which is 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah.
So it must be 2 in 3 is seriously injured. I'd have to actually.
1 in 3 is a serious injury, and 1 in 2 is a flesh wound.
Yeah.
So it's a third. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing is, just because you're seriously injured, if you're in close combat, they coup de grace you, and
you're dead. Yeah.
You're dead. But when you're seriously injured, you can still you can still move. You can crawl. So as long as you pass your test.
So basically, then you're down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Down.
You can crawl.
Yeah. And so you can, if you've got a teammate, they can actually assist you as well. So they can help you. Because the problem is, once you're seriously down, you're literally probably going to spend a couple turns on the ground.
Yeah.
You can't just jump back up. Because if you're seriously injured and someone charges you, they just snap your neck straight away. Coup de grace, you're dead. So it's all about, Brynley gets hard when he hears that.
Brynley got hard the moment he heard we were talking about Necromunda. I was like, "Oi, dude, we should totally do a Necromunda night." And then his response was, "I'm so hard right now."
So erect.
Whoa! I can only get so erect. So the third one, while we're at it, is the the firepower dice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
So it's a
There's
combination.
a lot of dice. There's a lot of dice in Necromunda.
Yeah, there are a lot of dice.
but it has two purposes. The firepower one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I'm an
like,
idiot, explain it to me.
That's all right. So, like Isaac said before, some weapons are rapid fire, and in a change to rapid fire weapons in 40k, where you could shoot twice within a certain distance, these ones you roll a firepower dice, and there are little cute bullet holes on the dice, and so in the old game they were called sustained fire dice, and they had bullets, how many hits you'd get, and then a jam symbol, so where the weapon could potentially explode. And I've had that happen where I've fired plasma pistol, it's jammed, I've rolled the jam again, I've failed the ammo check, and it's blown up and killed my ganger immediately. So what they did was this one, they combined the ammo with the rapid fire dice. So something like a heavy stubber, which is obviously a big, huge man-carried, anti-personnel weapon.
So you have to roll the firepower though.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot.
Every time you shoot.
It's very random.
Yeah, but if it's not a rapid fire weapon, you ignore the bullet holes. All you're looking for is a little ammo symbol.
Yeah.
But if it is rapid fire, then that crappy auto gun that's strength 3 and no rend, no AP, suddenly becomes a 3-bullet monster that you can hit guys within 1 inch of the guy you're shooting at. So you say, well, I've hit you 3 times, so I'm going to put 1 into that guy, 1 into that guy, 1 into that guy, and then they're all pinned. So it's just a case of being smart with how you do it. You run out of ammo, it doesn't matter because it's an auto gun, so you can reload it on a 3-up or a 4-up.
It sounds like it's something that I'd probably struggle to get a grasp of without actually, like, you'd need. I feel like that's one of the parts of the game that it's easier when you actually throw in the dice as well.
Yeah.
We'll have to play a couple of games, Ryan. We'll have to.
Yeah, I think even after 2 games, I think you'll grasp the basic concepts, and then it's like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I know you asked about the stray shot before. We didn't really go into it, but if you basically, it's like the line of sight is really important in the Necromunda.
Huge.
So if you don't have a laser pointer, I would suggest getting one or finding something.
But why should I buy one when I can just steal one from your garage?
Well, there is that.
True. Touché.
Yeah.
So,
but with the straight shot, you basically draw like a line, and if there's any models that are like within 1 inch of that line, there's a 50-50 chance that they get hit. So on a 1, 2, 3, is it 1, 2, 3 they get hit, and 4, 5, 6, yeah. So it's like it can be brutal.
So
because I've got a cool little story as well.
Oh,
There's
story
actually,
time.
The last mechanic we didn't really talk about is actually what we call nerve tests. So you lose a fighter to a serious injury, and there's one of your guys within 2 or 3 inches.
This sounds a lot like marriage to me.
He'll have to test to see whether he runs away, because he's just seen his buddy get his face shot off. Now, if that happens and there's no one else nearby, those guys can just flee off the table and they're done. They just run and run and run and run, and they've got to try and get into cover. So I've had one where I was hiding around a corner, I had a bit of cover, and the guy who was against me went to shoot me. He missed, shot his friend in the back, who fell off.
This guy's a fucking asshole.
Fell off the walkway and killed his friend, and then his gun ran out of bullets. It blew up in his hand.
My God.
Yeah, and another story. They're going to be introducing psychic powers soon, and I was using a psychic, and the idea was I was going to run along, use my psychic power, drop through the floor, so I basically became like incorporeal, drop through the floor, and then I was going to shoot a flame psychic attack at this guy. So I ran, successfully manifested psychic power to fall through the floor, fell through the floor, and failed my agility check and broke both my legs. I then crawled 2 inches to see whether I could get to my destination, hopefully get one of my guys to pick me up. Fell another 3 inches and failed my strength test and died. So,
Clumsy psycho.
Yeah, clumsy psycho.
Very short tail.
So, while we're just talking, sharing our little disappointments here for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna cry about your hurricane?
No, I wasn't actually. But now that you mention it, Brynley, fuck you. No, tactics cards.
Yes.
They look cool. They have a great purpose. Why the fuck am I buying a game that I then need to go and buy cards for?
I'd say you don't. I'd say it's a nice bonus.
But if I want my extra crew to use a Ricochet card, I've got to fork out for the Goliath set.
Some will be generic, and much like Shadespire, not all the cards come in that original set. And I can understand that because
Am I just salty then?
You're just salty.
Yeah, I'm just salty.
Well, we've blown a lot of smoke up Necromunda's ass tonight, though, so I feel like I'm allowed to get salty over one thing. And if it wasn't the crazy amounts of different dice, it was going to be the fact that you've got to go and buy those cards. So
I don't think you do. You get 4 for your gang in the starter set, and they're good. And then you get generic ones, which are also good. They're not terrible. There's one that gives you mesh armor, makes you a little bit stronger. There's one that, if your opponent shoots at you, you can make their gun run out of ammo permanently. There's bits and bobs, and they are good. And Isaac got both sets of cards, and I don't know if we've gone through them yet, but
no,
it's always a choice. It's always going to be a choice.
No, but I just feel like the cards should all be released together. I don't think that they need to sell it all separately. It's like literally, it's just they're just grabbing my wallet and raping it, and I'd prefer it if they didn't. I'd appreciate a little less pillaging.
Well, that's just GW, I think.
Yeah, it's just you. Well, yeah, I'll be honest, I am saving my dollary dues for when they drop Mordheim. And I'll be like all over that, like a crazy Brynley in a beanie store. So
Jesus.
The cards are only $25. It's like
but how many packs do you need to buy?
One game. Like you don't even need to buy the expansion packs. Like if you buy the box set for $150 GW price or less, if you can get it somewhere like Mimic Games at Moray Field for $127.50.
Yeah.
Shameless support of a local store that stocks GW. I mean,
while you're there, I hear they've got a podcast as well. Do you want to tell us about that?
Do, yeah. Yes, they have a podcast.
What's it called? Dice Pool?
Dice? Right. It's the new role-playing game from Fantasy Flight Games.
Yeah.
So I think FFG are basically bringing games out to try and compete in every single system or something. It seems like, because they're doing the Legions as well, aren't they?
Star Wars Legions.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
So Mike Curry,
Gungan Army.
He's a bit of a legend. He's actually one of the original dudes, I think, that helped set up QNK years ago. So
Michael was. Yeah.
Is that the Dice Pool podcast?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
So facebook.com/Dice Pool podcast.
Check it out.
And there you go. Yeah.
All over it. Local boys getting amongst it. Love to see it happen.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think what you guys are doing is great too. I think, there's a few other people out there thinking, I'm better looking than Ryan and funnier than Brynley, so maybe I can start a podcast. No.
Yeah, but they'll never be funnier than Ryan and better looking than Brynley.
No.
Oh. Wait a second. No, that didn't work.
Well, there's a reason I hold the camera in all our battle reports. Hey, Jono.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
all over it. Well, you know,
I
if
need
people
Google
ask me about
Translate.
getting into podcasting or running a YouTube show, like me and Ryan aren't experts at it, but if you guys want to handle something, we're always more than happy to share what limited knowledge that we have. So
Yeah, it'll take us about 45 seconds, and you'll be up to scratch with where we are.
you'll be absolutely up to date with all the technology that we know. So yeah,
In fact,
along with
by the time Brynley finished that sentence, you're now both officially up to scratch. So congratulations, you're qualified.
you are qualified now. So that's everything we know, which was nothing. So
Do you find doing the podcast chews into your dice rolling time? Like, is it impacting you guys from that side of things?
not really. I mean, it's on a for me, it's on a Monday night. The only thing that impacts is like me painting Ryan's Hurricane, which is fine because it hurts
Who
his
gives
feelings.
a shit about that? Yeah.
Yeah, no one fucking cares about his Hurricane anyway.
He's never going to use it anyway.
Yeah, it's because he's going to be like, I'll finish it and be like, oh, that's nice. I might sell it now. I'll be like, no, fuck you. I'm encasing it in resin first.
You know, I realised another funny thing. 3 people on this podcast have been involved in painting models for Ryan.
Yeah, everyone here has painted Ryan's models, except for Ryan.
Hey, I'll have you know, I painted a Retributor once. All right?
You did a really good job too.
I was like, easy. That was fucking terrible.
They sneezed on it like a blow art. You just put the paint in your mouth and spit it on it with your hand.
Hey, you know what? For everyone watching this, opinions are like assholes, right? Everyone's got one, and these 3 guys stink the most. All right, so don't listen to this shit.
But yeah, in all seriousness, it's good to see more local people getting in amongst the hobby. It's not like it's weird because we do our own thing and people do their own thing, and it doesn't impact on our time because it's a Monday night. It's sometimes the prep that we have to do the day before and the day after that impacts in painting time, but overall it's not too bad. I mean, it's like a couple of hours on a Monday. We're getting a lot better at it. We can spend a lot less time trying to be organized about it.
Oh, sorry about that.
We've got dual casting Jonathan going on here.
Yeah, my phone died, so I swapped to the tablet. My bad.
Oh, your phone died, right?
Yeah.
So.
To be honest, none of us realised that you were away, John.
Nah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, there's literally just a frozen frame of Mr. T, and we're like, oh yeah, Johnny's here. He's good to go.
Yeah, it's the end of the night, and his audio finally gets good.
Yeah.
Finally gets good. We're like, yes, Mr. T's come out to play. What? No, he's still here.
It's the disapproving look on his face. It's like, just fuck everyone. Just seriously fuck everyone.
He should have been. Someone should make a Goliath character that looks like Mr. T with like a little bit of
that'd be sick.
fuzzy going on the mohawk and some big gold chains. He should be a gang leader. How has no one done this already?
Yeah.
What is wrong with people?
End this now before Brynley has any more shitty ideas.
I've still got that 25 minutes of that past game that you played at Jono's that night that we recorded that you were going to do a report on.
Oh, dear.
Oh, did it actually work? I thought we failed to film
You failed to record Jono and my game. We actually recorded yours.
Oh,
how bad was that? I'm like, all right, I've heard this new thing called the Vanguard Wing. Let's find out how well it can perform when you drop 30 liberators into a 2,000 point army of freaking was it?
Chaos.
It was chaos, bloody slaves to darkness.
Rape-faced liberators right up to my army. Killed my gigantic spell thingamajig creature of death. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then I just swung around with my chosen and my my chaos demon prince. For some reason, just ignored, and they just slaughtered you completely.
Yeah, murdered him.
All I remember is Jono and I were sitting on the side, and we were popping out the Armada tokens.
Yeah.
And then we turned around and we realised Ryan was doing this same thing to Brynley.
Yeah, and then in his turn it switched around and he just slaughtered all 30 liberators, and I'm like,
just like,
well, that's game.
That's game. I'm like, but I've got all these other guys to kill you with. And he's like, no, we're good.
I quit.
Yeah, I'm like,
done.
well, I've got 9
Yeah.
prosecutors. I don't think they're going to do much.
Yeah.
And they were the wrong prosecutors too. They had the hammers. They just the whole thing. Yeah, that was really interesting. I've definitely.
Who won that game? That was like a practice match for.
Brynley won it in the first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's over.
But Ryan
Yeah.
bitched out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, and that-
definitely. No, it was over. Like, I definitely learned the limits of the Vanguard wing. So that was pretty interesting, actually. I like that.
But you did a ride at the tournament that then played later on.
I can't remember my second game.
Yeah, I think you lost.
I was really sick. Something was wrong. I can't remember.
Was that on the
I
day?
think
On
Yeah.
the day.
yeah, you were pretty sick on the day. Actually.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
remember that.
shout out to Jamie. Running an AOS event is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
yeah.
when we rock up.
Yeah. And a shout out to Isaac. Playing back-to-back games against dwarves is also really tough.
Oh. Wow.
Especially being a
Yeah.
dwarf player.
Yeah.
It's just like, again, I didn't say anything.
Those stunty bastards.
And
Yeah.
the Stevens got a massive army and it's not painted. And it was like this sea of grey. I had to keep asking, are these Longbeards? Are these warriors? Which units what? I need to put one unit here, one unit there. What am I charging?
I look at them all and I'm like, they all look the same. Do they all have the same grudge? Or do they all have the same runes? And then I'm like, right, it's my shooting phase. Can you point out the leader short person so I can shoot him first? Because they all look the fucking...
That's part of the tactic. It's up to you to remember.
It was like trying to find Mr. Chin in the middle of Bangkok. Like, it's just, yeah.
He was quite horrified. He was quite horrified when my flying dudes, my Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury and RK on the Everchosen just flew over the top of his walls and took out all his leaders behind. He lost all his abilities. It was quite funny.
I can't imagine why somebody would be worried about that. I remember looking at your list going, what the fuck?
Just a bunch of fill.
It
Fill.
wasn't that bad. It's
It was
just
just
Scarbrand,
fill.
Bloodthirster.
Boy, it was horrendous.
It was disgusting.
It was almost as bad as Brynley's list.
There's nothing wrong with it. That was just all the models I had.
I think
Your
AOS
slaves army's tough.
is one of those
Yeah,
games
but that's
where
because I play good.
people tend to sort of handicap themselves with their lists in AOS. I think it's one of those things where everyone sort of got into AOS and they thought they could just buy 2 start collecting boxes and that was it. Their armies were done.
Yeah.
And it's not really the case. And then you have a lot of people who have these old fantasy armies that want to play AOS as well, and they get upset that their rules aren't as good as the new armies. And the new armies have the cool new rules. Like, that's just how it is. Like, the GW is there to sell models, and
Yeah, that's why Stormcast have so much shit.
yeah, too much.
But-
They could have started another.
Oh, mate, I'm just waiting for my fucking death thing to come out. Because
Did you get any of those chicken legs? Did you get those chicken riders?
did I get... Nah, fuck no. No, those things are shit.
The turbo chicken dudes.
That's such a waste of a release.
I don't like them at all. I like the concussors and stuff. But I like their infantry. I like the slow, methodical march of the Roman Empire, because that's face it, what they're based off when you look at them. Up the field they go, and then bang, they get chariot fucking slingshot across the bloody field by the Relictor, and they're in your face. But those chicken riders are just pointless. Like, it's as pointless as Jono's right hand. We all know he uses it for one thing.
Penton, your models.
Oh God, it's true. I'm sorry.
In all seriousness, it was another good AOS event. I think there was 13 or 14 players there, and that was Jamie's. I think that was Jamie's first event that he's run. So
yeah, we're going to put a video out about it actually, because he's also the only TO with dreadlocks in Australia.
Yeah, we did a research on that actually. It's actually he's the only one.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Did you Google that?
Yeah.
TOs with
we may have had
dreadlocks.
to make a page and just make it up ourselves, but it's on the internet, so it's true now.
Oh, then that's it. Yes.
Just
Real
so we know who we're surrounding ourselves with, Isaac.
No.
Yeah.
Only the finest at
Jamie's a really good TO because he's patient.
Yeah, especially with
Sorry, I
Ryan
dropped out
with
for a
dumb
second.
questions.
Jesus, everyone's dropping out. All right. So we were just blowing some smoke up Jamie's ass about how amazing he is, and his dreadlocks are so pretty and all of that.
I want dreadlocks.
Mate, you wear a beanie. What the? I don't even. All right, look. So we've held you guys up for 2 hours now.
Yeah, we're pretty good. 2 minutes in. It's been a good chat.
Come on, we've got another hour to go.
We've got places to go.
Podcast?
A 3 hour podcast. Well, I think we'll. Damn.
I think we're.
Let's not do a 3 hour podcast. We're gonna save it for when we do like a live tournament or something, and we just like talking shit.
Is it just me, or did we cut through that 2 hours quite swiftly?
Well, no, it took 2 hours.
It happens every Monday. Like it'll be like it feels like 30 seconds ago I was going, "Hey, this is AUSHAMMER," and then we're just like, "Oh shit, it's like 10 o'clock." Fuck. So.
Yeah, well, in our defense, we did spend 15 minutes looking for plastic bums for you guys to look at. So
we did. Yes.
Yes. And no, Isaac, the photo you showed me is not suitable for a tiebreaker.
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a limit to what I'll show on this show, and you just found that limit.
You just found that limit. For those people who want to know that limit, just inbox me. And I'll send you Ryan's personal details.
It's just a picture of Brynley in a mankini.
It's good.
No one would have guessed that booty.
I don't know. I think Jono would have been all over it.
So, gentlemen, it's that's just confusing, and is it weird that I find that slightly attractive as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's been a pleasure, but I don't want to say that after a sentence like that. So
No.
I'm just going to say thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
And to anybody in the Brisbane area, the Sunshine Coast area, Gold Coast area, Toowoomba area, and anybody further out that has money for a plane ticket or petrol, come down to Brisbane, check out the Warrior Lodge. We will have links to their Facebook page, to their everything page, as well as links to a few of their bat wraps for Necromunda. They're really cool. Check it out. And it'll be really cool to see some new faces show up and say hi at one of the club meets sometimes. So thanks again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Brynley, it was nice of you to put clothes on tonight. I appreciate that as well, mate. Good on you.
Mate, I try. For big shout out to all of our new subscribers and everyone who watched us in the show. I saw Ashley was pretty active in the chat today. It's good to see everyone. Before we go, just remember, for those of you who enjoyed the show and like our stuff, jump onto that Warhammer Weekly YouTube Awards and throw our name out there. It's, we enjoy what we do. John is going to do it. Isaac's probably going to vote for someone else because he likes
He likes to be different.
Likes to be different. Ryan will probably make 10 different accounts just so he can get ahead somehow.
That's not how I roll, buddy. I've already voted for Doom and Darkness. I mean, I'm totally voting for us.
Yeah, there's pretty cool stuff out there. But anyway, thanks for watching. It's been fun. Join us next week. We're going to be doing I don't know what we're going to be doing. We're not that organized.
Podcast.
I don't know.
We'll be here
We've
Monday.
got a big announcement around the Christmas period as well. I do believe a special visit will be coming on next year, January. So
it should be pretty. Oh yeah, that's right. It should be pretty good. It's gonna be good. So tune in for next week. We'll have our Santa hats on. we doing Christmas things. Maybe.
Nice.
Anyway, if you guys enjoyed watching, it was fun. We had a blast. Ladders of Warrior Lodge, thank you very much. Everyone watching, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Isaac.
Call me. You call him, everyone. All right, yeah, get out of here.